How does that feel? No. Look at your face.
Oh, tight.
Yeah, tight's good. Alright, go to bed. You good?
Yes.
Okay. Good night.
Wait.
Yeah?
Can you read me a story, please?
Sweetie, it's late.
Please.
One story. Which one?
Ooh, the rumble.
You sure?
Yes.
Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rumble you've all been waiting for. 20 wrestlers come in, only one will survive. All with a chance to compete for the championship bout. Are you ready? Yay! The first one out of the tunnel is the White Knight. The Klansman riding on a hooded white horse, matching his garb to music fit for a Nazi hit parade. The crowd boos and jeers as the White Knight rides in with confidence that only his massive sense of self-imposed superiority could provide. With head held high, the White Knight makes his way to the ring, dismounts his steed, hands the reins over the trailer park hop. His girl who was waiting for him at ringside, who was steeped in a haze of acrid cigarette exhale, steps over the ropes of the ring, his tall frame allowing him to make the move effortlessly. He paces around the squared circle, seemingly staring every fan in the eye who's spewing hateful slurs at him, salutes the ones who salute back at him. There's always more than a few in every crowd.
If that's true.
As his music dies down, there's a low, solo bass note that reverbs throughout the space as the lights dim. Smoke appears in every possible place as the shadow is born amongst all of it. He is draped all in black with a faceless mask. He patiently makes his way to the ring. The White Knight stares him down, a hint of trepidation in his eyes. He knows the Shadow is a formidable opponent. Definitely not the one he wanted to battle first. But still he does not waver. For he knows he has white power on his side.
Really?
The Shadow makes his way to the edge of the ring apron. As he ducks his head to enter the ring, the White Knight rushes him with violent technique. The Shadow stealthily avoids the attack, spinning out of the way before launching a surprisingly surgical counterattack, punching and kicking the White Knight in a way that makes the crowd scream in support of glee. Getting back his footing, the White Knight fires a kick at the Shadow's head, ducks it, and then continues a gentle assault. Boom, 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 boom. A powerful timpani reverberates throughout the crowd, followed by a determined snare drum. It's the intro music of the Colonel, who marches determinedly towards the ring where the two men are doing battle. He hops over the top ropes and begins to attack both of the men with his Krav God-inspired attack, felling them both. He grabs the White Knight, whips him into the ring, who then rebounds into a powerful clothesline, and then sidekicks the Shadow in the face, who was attempting a surprise attack when he thought he was distracted. Glass shatters. The choir breaks out into harmonic song. It is the pastor come to save all of our souls. He is calm, holding the Bible before him. He urges everyone he comes into contact with to repent. A fan offers her child to him as he makes his way to the stage. He kisses it, blesses the child before pulling himself up onto the ring apron. He turns around, blesses the crowd, and then enters the ring to join the fracas.
I believe it's pronounced fracas.
Fracas.
It's fracas.
What? As he climbs in, the shadow has managed to whip the White Knight in his direction, whom he promptly smashes in the face with the Bible his mama gave him. The colonel makes the sign of the cross before firing a combat boot into the pastor's chest, launching him into the shadow's body, sending both men flying down. The pastor deftly back somersaults off the shadow's body in time to face a recovering White Knight. The two men stare each other down for a moment before the White Knight slaps the pastor in the face. The crowd is not pleased. Even most of the White Knight's supporters join the boos and jeers raining down on both of them. Boom, 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 boom. The pulsating Polynesian beat of Torishi, the giant Samoan's intro music, ramps the crowd back up into a frenzy as the gargantuan of a man whose entire left side of his body is covered in traditional tattoos makes his way to the ring. Meanwhile, the pastor takes his Bible and smacks the White Knight in the face with it again and again, back and forth repeatedly, backing him up against the rope, breaking the combination by undercutting him over the top rope. A tornado of white robes flail up into the air as the White Knight reaches out a desperate arm to prevent his elimination by clinging on for dear life before he has the opportunity to pull himself back in. As he enters, the shadow flings the colonel his way. The White Knight quickly bends over and uses the colonel's momentum to flip him high over the top rope towards elimination. But Torishi, who just made it ringside, easily catches him before his feet touches the ground and belts him back into the ring before he himself steps over the top rope to begin his dominance. Easily the biggest man on stage. All eyes fall on Torishi. The shadow is the first one to make a move, delivering a flying kick aimed at Torishi's head. Torishi catches it and swings the shadow around like a human flail, first smacking the White Knight with his body, then the pastor, and finally releasing him into the colonel. All of his enemies now on the ground. Torishi takes the center of the ring and stomps his feet in honor of the Haka to show his supremacy. The piercing sound of a wounded animal, accompanied by a discordant orchestra, shrieks over the crowd as the 7-foot monster behemoth, covered in the pelts of the wild beast he's defeated, tromps his way to the ring with Torishi's full attention upon him. Months prior, the two men had a bloody biblical battle that destroyed most of the ring and their bodies, resulting in them both ending up at the hospital. As Torishi did before, Behemoth steps over the top rope, never losing eye contact with his only real threat in this event. The White Knight attempts a sneak attack on Behemoth, who slaps him back into the corner from whence he came, never taking his attention off of Torishi. The two giants size each other up while, seemingly unbeknownst to them, their opponents are doing the same.
The Shadow and the Colonel leap up onto the top turnbuckle on either side of the ring. The Shadow launches himself at Behemoth as the Colonel does the same. Both giants catch their respective attackers before slamming them into the canvas, popping up to simultaneously go after the pastor, who smoothly avoids both of their attack while counterattacking with two kicks on the body and head, stunning them. The White Knight seizes the opportunity, continuing the attack by viciously punching both giants before they both turn on him.
Two pairs of gargantuan hands seize him around the neck before lifting him high up and then driving him into the canvas, knocking him out cold.
Scream of the Valkyrie Blue Sonya rips through the arena as the Nordic Empress races towards the ring, the sky blue feathers of Pegasus adorning her hair. She enters the battle by leaping onto the top turnbuckle from the outside and pelting herself at the Colonel, delivering a drop kick to his chest, and then launching herself off of him into a spinning head kick towards the Shadow before her feet even touch the ground. The crowd goes bananas.
She stands in between Behemoth and Torishi, eyeing them both. Before she can make her move, the White Knight, who everyone thought was still unconscious, sweeps at her feet. Nimble minx that she is, she avoids the underhanded attack and proceeds to waylay into him, hitting him with all sorts of attacks above the head and body before literally kicking him in the butt with her winged boot.
Hardcore gangster music pumps through the speakers as the urban prophet Thug Life rolling 20 deep with his whole crew makes it to the ring, spitting.
Hard to creep, I ain't come for beef, but I regulate to stimulate the honor of the streets, man. Hate and roll, not here for the bullshit. Sometimes you gotta crack a fool to make them see the truth, man. Hard as I can on my grind, I grind a man into justice let it be. Written brand new history, right the wrong that came to me. New decree from you to me, fighting for the family, which is really you and me. Word is born, I'm a soldier, y'all. Rapping with the protocol, step into the battle with my brothers, bringing thunder, y'all. Coming with the proof for all us on the truth, bringing knowledge to our youth, yo. It's what we gotta do.
Drops the mic and hops into the ring. As soon as he enters, the White Knight comes over to start some nonsense and is immediately met with a tail to the face as Thug Life continues the attack by holding him in the corner. Yeah.
A lonely flute echoes through the air as the crowd drops into a revered silence for the Honorable Daijiro, the spirit of Bushido guiding his very being. He carries his well-worn bucket at his side. As soon as he enters the ring, he makes quick surgical work of all the opponents within, striking and evading seemingly all in one movement. He leaps up into the air to crack Behemoth in the head with it, stunning him to the ground. The assault comes to an abrupt halt as Torishi stops the bucket in mid-attack with his hand. Drives his body into Daijiro's, forcing him to release the weapon as he speeds towards the ground. Gripping the booking with his two massive fists, he stares Daijiro in the face with the eyes of a madman as he breaks the booking over his knee, snapping it as if it were a twig. The crowd gasps. They know that boken was handmade by Daijiro's father, Hajime. Both father and son practiced relentlessly, the biting wood callousing their hands until they bled at times. It was the last token Hajime had of his father before Hajime met his end at the hands of a local rival in Edo.
Daijiro screams a scream of pure agony as he rushes toward Rishi with every fiber of his being. The Samoan, mildly surprised at the ferocity of the attack, with the fury of a man possessed, he rips across Torishi's chest with a clawed hand. Bright crimson blood drips from the wounds, staining the canvas beneath them. A woman in the crowd faints from the sight.
An energetic Celtic beat signifies tough boy hooligan's entrance into the arena. The crowd immediately showers him with their overpriced beers as he welcomes their offering thirstily. Shaking off his shaggy mane, the same as would an Irish setter coming out of the rain, he charges into the ring, wailing on anyone whom he faces. During his wanton fury, he even manages to slap the out of Blue Sonia's mouth, becoming the first assailant to do so. Oh! The crowd falls into a hush, stunned by his act, as are the rest of the combatants. Unapologetically, Hooligan blurts out, "Oi! She stepped into this here ring with a bunch of rowdy fellas and expected not to catch a wallop or two. What happened to all that bleating about gender equality, eh?" Little Sonia stares him down. Then she begins to clap. She agrees with him, as does the rest of the crowd. She welcomes the opportunity to be tested equally. She then rams a ringing boot into Hooligan's gonads, causing him to puke all over the top rope and crumble into a dysfunctional heap, stumping him mercilessly as the action continues around her. A feel-good country twang is heard as Dusky the Cowboy swaggers his way to all the action with his trusty lasso at his side. He slides underneath the bottom rope and pops up into the jaw of the Colonel, who wasn't paying attention to the new combatant. The entire crowd screams, "Yeehaw! Woo!" And then all the lights go black as the crowd seemingly belches all at the same time, signifying the entrance of Schneid, the nastiest mofo in the entire organization, making his way to the ring with greasy hair dripping with sweat. Lord knows what kind of filth. Schneid is a drooling, burly mess of a man, reeking as no human should, his odor beating him to the ring before he even gets there. All the competitors stop what they're doing, covering their noses to give him as much room as possible. Snot throws himself at the White Knight, whose horse, apparently because no one was paying attention to it for a good long time, has taken a massive dump in the corner where the crowd that's close by is repulsed by all of that, but is too engaged with the action to really care. Who is too disgusted with the man to defend himself, leaving him open for all that Snot has to offer. The other combatants resume brutalizing each other as a bird scream, along with deep African drums, is heard high above. A symphony of scarlet, blue, vermilion, olive, and white feathers glitter in the sky as Phoenix Sojourner glides down from the rafters on wings that unimaginably grow from her back. The rest of the wrestlers are unaware of her spiraling down onto them until she makes her presence felt by drop-kicking Snot into the White Knight, who then catapults into the shadow. She screams to the heavens as she lands, "Ah!" as the crowd screams with her. Blue Sonia is not at all impressed.
and delivers a vicious back forearm onto her chest, which Phoenix Sojourner takes the force from and grabs Blue Sonia's arm and flings her into a crowd of wrestlers, toppling them all into a heap onto the mat.
It is the warrior cry of Sancho, the Mexican luchador entering the fight, adorned in his traditional ancestral mask. He races towards the action recklessly before leaping on top of the top rope and throwing his slaying body at a crowd of wrestlers before popping up and delivering his patented sidekick to all who want some. Ole.
A big throaty voice bellows out, "Renegade!" as a powerful rock ballad pours over the crowd. Renegade, the big bearded bad biker from the streets, rolls in on a chrome-scented chopper on full tilt. As he gets closer to the action, he hops onto the motorcycle seat and uses his momentum to cannonball him into the ring, catching Torishi in the face with a big leather boot. The big Samoan stumbles back, but does not fall, too incensed by the attack to succumb to it. Torishi lays hands on Renegade with the purpose of exacting revenge, but before he can, Behemoth slams him in the back with Blue Sonia's limp body, who had been knocked out prior by the pastor, but was now wide awake after her body was being used as a weapon against her will. Not a good look to enrage a Viking.
Word.
Blue Sonia bounds out of a spinning handstand to her feet, ready to lash out at anyone who dares cross her before the majestic gong of the last emperor of China booms throughout the arena. He enters, being carried on a scarlet and gold litter, attended by 8 of his royal guards who are taking their time getting him to the ring. As they do, he looks down on the inhabitants of the crowd as if they were peasants, for in his eyes, they are. But before he can duck his head to enter the ring, a multicolored beach ball smacks him in the head, sending him flying to the ground. Chrissy-Ann, the happy-go-lucky beach girl, leaps out of her spot in the crowd and catches the ball, which is actually a giant tricked-out dodgeball, in midair. As it rebounds off the last emperor's head, she then flips somersaults into the ring, uses its bouncy action, flips over, and whacks Torishi in the head with it. And then when the ensuing rebound, kicks it, whacking every combatant in the ring like a giant spazzed out pinball. As it speeds his way, Behemoth catches the ball in one hand and in one movement crushes the air out of it, throwing its deflated carcass at Chrissy-Ann's feet. Who balls a pathetic wail? Before running up into Behemoth, leaping off of his chest into a backflip that crunches him in the chin, sending the giant flailing over the top rope, making him the first wrestler to be eliminated. The crowd screams in shock, as do most of the other combatants, because absolutely no one thought that of all the wrestlers to eliminate Behemoth, that it would be little Chrissy-Ann.
A calypso beat fills the air for what is now officially a party atmosphere as Tropic Thunder make his way to the ring, dancing the whole way there with a smile that never leaves him fierce. As he broke into the ring, the White Knight, never missing a chance for the seed, tries to sneak attack and try to kick him in the face. Tropic Thunder sealed up the attack, catches the White Knight by him boot and then flips him over before jumping onto the top rope and backflipping onto a body splashing the most likely concussed White Knight. The chants of the ancestors waft over the crowd as El Cabro, with no pretense, rushes the ring with the only intent of adding more chaos to an already chaotic affair. Almost inhumanly, he leaps over the top rope into the ring, bringing down a double axe handle onto Torishi's head. Spinning kick to the shadow, drop kicks Dusty, backflips into an inverted scissor kick takedown of the last emperor, headbutts both the hero and Blue Sonia. Absolutely wrecks Renegade with a flying knee to the dome, smashes his fist into Hooligan's liver.
drives his heel into Thug Life's chin. He snatches the pastor's Bible before backhanding it and shredding it into pieces.
Tosses Bible verses into the air that rain down on everyone as he continues his impersonation of a relentless hurricane causing destruction to all that cross his path before a white hot lightning bolt explodes into the ring, sending everyone flying in every direction, blinding everyone who bears witness to it.
Out of the smoke, eyes burning with eldritch fire, emerges the wizard, wielding a staff made from a branch of the tree of life itself. He focuses on Phoenix Sojourner, the only opponent not blasted out of the ring by his entrance. Though she is beaten and bloodied, he knows she is still a formidable opponent. He whispers a spell more ancient than time itself and blasts her with an energy bolt from his staff.
The Russian takes some strength within and blocks the attack with her broken, bloody wings, screaming and screaming as the blood burns her even further. But she will not be defeated. She steps towards the wizard as the eldritch blast continues to ravage her wings. The wizard focuses even harder, his eyes filling with disbelief as this being fights through his pure magic. Erasure finally reaches him, grabs his staff, and with a swing that would make the baby proud, launches him into the top corner of the arena, sending the wizard flailing into the darkness. Erasure stands alone, exhausted but victorious. The MC enters the ring with the championship belt and announces your winner, Phoenix Sojourner!
That's the end of the story.
Again.
No. Go to sleep.
Good night, I miss you. I love you. Sweet dreams.
You too. Bye now.